Hi guys, what's up? Oh, you can tell my cat scratched me. Oops. Um, how is everybody? Let's see, you guys were talking. Um, your dad's in you're in quarantine because your dad has COVID? That sucks, Igloo. But yeah, you've been super productive getting crafting done. I feel that. That's how I was during the first half of like when COVID first started, I was like doing stuff and like getting stuff done. Um, So, here we are. We are going to talk about Cinderella. Um, so let's get to that. This Omicron is ruthless, yeah. It is. So, Cinderella. Okay, guys. This is the big one. So doing better every single day is a good sign for sure. Also, thank you. That's good. It's good that he's doing better. You guys can hear me, right? I just want to make sure my sound is working. So, the bitch who can't keep her shoe on. Yes, that bitch. I like Cinderella, and I'm going to defend her with my dying breath. Okay, you can hear me good. I just wanted to make sure, since we sometimes have issues. Also, ignore all the mess behind me and the empty bookshelf. I'm in the middle of moving things. So, everything kind of looks dull and messy and boring. But, okay, so, Cinderella. So, we're going to go through this bit by bit. Like, we're going to do like we did. We're going to go through the movie, and then I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the way this movie starts. So, it gives us the whole backstory on Cinderella. So, for one thing, everyone forgets. There was this widowed man who had a daughter named Cinderella. Okay? And he took care of her and everything, but he thought she needed a mother. So he married this bitch called Lady Tremaine with two daughters Cinderella's age. Now, then he dies. Okay, so this starts off rough. So the other thing we have to remember is this man is a man of money. He is a noble, like this is a noble dude. So let's start with that. Everyone gets that wrong. Everyone, like, when they write Cinderella, they write her as like this poor, like, chick just because she's a maid in the movie. She's a noble. She, like, her family has money. She's a noble. So she's a noble, and then her dad dies, and then Lady Tremaine is like, you're better than my daughters, and I don't like that, so I'm not going to take care of you. So she starts spending all this bros money on her daughters and taking care of her and her daughters, and treats Cinderella like a maid. That's where this starts. So, Lady Tremaine is actually villainous as one of the playable characters. In Villainous, one of the playable characters. She came in one of the more recent expansions to the game. That's awesome. So the movie then starts with Cinderella waking up, and she's singing her song about a dream is a wish your heart makes. And she's pretty cute and sassy in this scene. She's adorable. People forget how much fun she is. She's talking to the birds, and they're like, why won't you tell us your dream? And she's like, because it's a wish, and then it won't come true if I tell you. And then the clock goes dong, dong, and she's like, oh, that clock, killjoy. And it's so cute. She's like, I hear you. Get up, you say. Time to start another day. Even he orders me around. She's sassing the clock, and it's so cute. Like, she has so much personality that everyone forgets about. So she sings her song, A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, and she gets dressed. And it's cute. And then they find a new mouse. And that's when we meet Gus Gus. And he's so cute. Well, his name is Octavius. And she says, we'll call you Gus for short. It's like, okay, Cinderella. And then she goes and she wakes up Lucifer, the cat, and she gets breakfast ready for everyone. And this is where you need to realize, this is where you start to realize the movie is not about Cinderella. The movie is about these mice. Because Cinderella goes out to feed the animals, and the story doesn't go with her. The story stays on what the mice are doing. So mice are distracting the cat and everything, and they're trying to get outside. And it's like a whole sequence of them trying to go outside. And then Gus Gus hides under one of the teacups, and this is important for the next scene. He hides under one of the teacups to get away from Lucifer. And then the next scene, she takes the plates up, and the stepsisters freak out because she's like, there's a rat! And then that's when Lady Tremaine gives her a whole bunch of chores to do. And these chores are important because this is how everything happens. Now the next scene, we switch characters to a whole new set of characters we haven't seen yet. And we see the king. Okay? And this is where everyone forgets the plot of this movie. Because everyone forgets all the scenes with the king. These are important to this movie. So the king wants the prince to get married. Because he wants grandkids. He says, I'm not getting younger and I want to see my grandkids. So he tells the duke, we are going to throw a ball. And you are going to invite every eligible maiden. Every single one. Okay? He says you're going to invite them all. And we're going to force the prince to pick somebody to marry. Because I want grandkids. And he's like, you're doing it, it's happening tonight. And the duke is like, okay, whatever you say, king. And then while Cinderella is doing a bunch of her extra chores, the letter comes from the king of, like, ball. And so this is when she talks to Lady Tremaine, and she's like, they're like, oh, every eligible maiden gets to go. And she's like, well, that means me, right? And Lady Tremaine goes, yes, if you can finish your chores on time, and if you can find something to wear. And then the stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella, freak out. They're like, Mom, do you know what she said? She said, I said, if. And of course, this is when they then give her a bunch of chores to do later. So she pulls out her mom's old dress, and she's like, oh, well, I need to fix it up. And then I can wear it to the ball. And then they call her down to give her chores. And again, this is where we find out that this story is about the mice. Because half of these scenes, by the way, we see from the mice point of view. So then here's where they're singing about, and they fix the dress. They fix the dress for her. Go, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can help our Cinderella. Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. Anyway, I know all the words to all these songs. And they do the dress for her. And so we're watching them do the dress, and then they go downstairs to go get items for the dress. And this is when we hear them, give Cinderella a whole bunch of chores. But again, from the mice's point of view. And the mice steal a bunch of stuff and fight Lucifer and all that. The cat, Lucifer, by the way. Not the archangel. Okay, and then they're making the dress, and yeah, it's just a whole thing. Then it's time to leave, and she's like, Cinderella, you're not ready to go. And she's like, no, I'm not going. And they're all like, oh, okay. And then she goes upstairs, and the mice are like, surprise, we made your dress. And she's like, oh! And she gets ready, and then she's like, let me go with you guys. And then that's when Lady Tremaine points out that all the parts of her dress are scraps from Anastasia and Drizella's clothes, because that's what the mice stole. And then they rip her dress apart. And she doesn't get to go. And then this is when she's out in the garden. This is when we meet another character, the fairy godmother. The fairy godmother does her bippity boppity boo. And she turns a pumpkin into a carriage. And then she turns the mice into some horses, and then the horse into a coach, the coachman, and then the dog into the footman. And then she makes Cinderella her dress. And I want to ask you guys a question. If you get this wrong, I will be so disappointed. What color is Cinderella's dress? The dress she goes to the ball in. The dress that fairy godmother makes for her. If you get this wrong, I'm going to cry. What color is Cinderella's dress? It's blue, isn't it? Oh, you're breaking my heart! Silver is closer. It's white. It's... Let me find a good image of her dress. Of course, in all these pictures, it's blue. Here we go. Here's a good image. It's been so long since I watched the movie, I understand. It's hard to tell with how small this is, but it is white. She has a white, silvery dress. If Google says it's blue, it's blue. No, it's the lighting. That's the lighting in another scene. In another scene, they're dancing, and they're dancing out in the garden where there's no light. Like, where the lighting is dim, and it's blue, because they're in the dark. There's, like, shadow on it. But it's white. It's a white dress. Or silver. I accept silver. That's a good answer too. But it's not blue. And if it is, it's not. Like, even if it was blue, it is not this dark of a blue. Like, let me show you. Like this is in the live action. Or that's not quite it. Where's the live action dress? That's close enough to it. Like, it's not this dark. Like, it'd be a very pale blue. Here's a good comparison. It's white. It's not blue like in the remaster. In the remaster they turn it blue, but it's not. Like, this is closer to the color than this. It's definitely not that dark. It would be like a really light, pale blue. Not so dark. Oh, let me hide this. Silver over white. I'll take that. So then we get to the ball. And now it's jumped back to our characters, the king and the duke. Okay, and the king is just like, I don't know why he won't pick a woman. Now, mind you, all these girls, all they're doing is walking up to him, bowing for their introduction, and walking away. And he's just like, why won't he find someone? And the duke is just like, you're romantic. You think the girl will walk up and he'll see her and he'll just be like, who is she? And chase after her and ask her to dance. And while he's like saying like, oh, you're a romantic, this is what you think is going to happen. This is actually unfolding. Anastasia and Drizella have bowed in front of him for their introduction. And then he sees Cinderella in the background, who's very lost, by the way. She doesn't know where she's going. This is important to remember. And he walks up to her. And then the king is like, you're joking, right? Look, it just happened. And so he asks her to dance. And they dance. And the king goes off. And they dance in the moonlight and everything. And that's where the dress looks blue, because they're in the dark. And they're just dancing. Literally, that's all they're doing is dancing. And then she's like, the clock strikes 12. And she goes, I must go. And he's like, but why? She goes, this is important. This is why I hate everyone who hasn't seen this movie. She goes, I still haven't met the prince. Because everyone else was introduced to the prince. They walked up to him, was introduced, they walked up, and they bowed, and then they walked back. She didn't do that. She was lost. She was walking around, and he saw her from afar, and he walked up to her. So she doesn't know he's the prince. So this is important because everyone goes, oh, she just wanted the prince to save her. She didn't know she fucking met the prince! She goes, I haven't met the prince yet. And she scurries off. And he's like, yo, wait, hold on. I'm the prince. He's trying to say that, but she's not listening. She scampers off. She drops her shoe. She goes back home. The spells vanish, but she keeps the shoe. And now we've cut back to the Duke. Again, these scenes are important. He cuts back to the Duke, and he's telling the king, she got away, all we have is the slipper. And I'm gonna read you the lines. Let me mute this. So he says, he loves her. He won't rest till he finds her. He's determined to marry her. So all this is important. And the king is like, oh, yes, this is what I wanted to hear. And he says, he'll marry none other than the girl who fits this slipper. Okay? So the prince has said he will marry no one else except the girl who fits the slipper. Okay? And the king is like, oh, that's what he said? And then, the duke is like, but sire, the slipper may fit any number of girls. And the king goes, that's his problem. He's given his word. So the king is behind this plot. The king is behind this plot, not the prince. And the duke is the one who tries it on every girl, which we're going to get to that. So, anyone who ever says anything like, why didn't the prince know what she looked like? Or the prince didn't even know what she looked like? Or the prince only likes her feet? Or whatever like that. Remind them to watch the movie. Because he says, I will marry whoever the shoe fits. And then the duke even says, well, that's a problem. It could fit anybody. And the king goes, I don't care. He said he'll marry who the shoe fits. That's what he's going to do. Go find someone who fits this shoe. So, that's every little, like, jest about the movie is explained in the movie. Okay? So he says, you'll try this on everyone in my kingdom. And so the duke goes out and he tries the shoe on every maiden in the kingdom. And even like Lady Tremaine mentions it, because he should still know her face though, but the prince isn't the one doing it. That's what I'm saying. The prince isn't the one trying it on everybody. Maybe the prince knows her face, yes, but the duke hardly got a look at her. The king definitely wasn't looking at her. Pearl, what are you doing? See her right here. So, like, yes, the prince should know her face. He might. But he's not out there trying the shoe on anyone. The prince is not involved in this plot at all. I don't even think the prince knows this is happening. Okay? So even Lady Tremaine is like, the shoe could fit anyone. Girls, get up. You're going to try the shoe on. You have a chance. And this is when Cinderella learns everything. Because Cinderella didn't know she danced with the prince. And then she overhears Lady Tremaine talking about this and she goes, oh, the prince. And she drops the tray she's holding. And as she's scooping it up, she's like, she starts to hear all this stuff and everything like starts to connect in her head. And she's like, oh yes, I need to go get ready for the duke. And she hands the tray to Drizella and walks off. And they're like, Mom, what the fuck is going on with Cinderella? And then that's when Lady Tremaine puts it all together. And she goes up after Cinderella. Now Cinderella's walked up to her room and she's humming, So This Is Love, which is the song they danced to earlier in this movie. And Lady Tremaine locks her in her room. Okay? And then again, we cut to the mice. It's time for the mice. You want to know what the mice are doing? This is what the mice are doing. This is actually fairly important because the mice are trying to get the key to help save Cinderella. Now all this is happening, the Duke has arrived. Okay? And the Duke is doing his whole thing. He's trying the shoe on the girls and everything. And then that's really important. The mice are now trying to get the key out of the pocket of Lady Tremaine. They manage to get it out. They have to get it all the way up the stairs. Multiple flights of stairs. And then they get up to the top. And there's Lucifer. And he traps Gus under a bowl. And Gus has got the key. He traps him under a bowl. And they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And all the mice are like trying to stop him. And they're like, go get Bruno! Which is the dog. And they let Bruno into the house. And Bruno chases Lucifer away. And they're able to get the key to Cinderella. Cinderella runs out and she goes, can I try it on? And Lady Tremaine is like, that's just our maid. Don't listen to her. And he's like, my orders were to do it. Try it on every maiden. So she trips the guy who's holding the shoe so it breaks. So you can't try it on Cinderella. And then that's when Cinderella goes, well, I have the other slipper. And he slides it on her foot and it fits. And they go, oh, yay! And the movie ends. I'm not kidding. Then there's church bells. And it's Cinderella and the prince running down the steps of the castle, and they get into a chariot, and they ride off. And shocking, the prince didn't want to go out with the duke to find the woman whose face you definitely remember. Like I said, the prince doesn't even seem to know this plot is going on. Okay? This is like cooked up by the king and the duke at like 3 a.m. I need you to know this. It's like 3 a.m. because midnight is when Cinderella leaves. And then we hear the church, like the clock chime again when the duke goes to tell the king this, and I think it chimes 3 times. So it's like 3 a.m. And he goes, "You will go right now and go try this on every maiden." And so he's like out all night basically trying this shoe on people. And I don't think the prince is even aware of what's going on. At least not until this plot has already been hatched. And so anyway, the prince and Cinderella get married, and the end. I kid you not, like that's how the movie ends. So, Cinderella. It suffers from something a lot of these old movies have, and it's called they just end. So it just ends. It's a fairly sizable movie. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. So it's got a good length. It's an hour and 15 minutes. It's got a good length, considering some of these older movies. But, so the king says the prince will marry who fits the slipper, because if the prince said that, then you should know who's wearing the slipper. Yeah, the prince said, "I will only marry the girl who fits the slipper." And the king said, and then the duke goes, "Well, that could fit anybody." And the king said, "Well, he gave his word, so go find a girl who fits the slipper." The king doesn't care who it is. He said, "Well, the prince said he'll marry whoever fits the slipper. Well, then go find anyone who fits the slipper," and he's being kept to his word. Whether it's the right girl or not, the king is like, "That's what he said? Go find somebody." But yes, I mean, I agree. The prince should know. But like I said, we're never shown whether or not the prince does know if he knows if he would recognize Cinderella, because he's not really a player in this movie. I think he says 2 lines. He's not relevant. I'll put it that way. So, this movie's good. Prince said, "Fuck it. Even if Cinderella, you'll marry them," and the king says, "Fine with me." No, you're misunderstanding. The prince said these words, "I will marry whoever fits this slipper." Okay? And the duke goes and tells the king. He said, the prince isn't here. The prince isn't here. The prince is God knows where. We don't know where the prince is. The duke says to the king, "Hey, the prince said he'll marry whoever fits the slipper." And the king says, "Okay." And then the duke goes, "But that could be anybody, sir." And the king goes, "I don't give a fuck. Put the slipper on somebody and make him marry them." Because the king doesn't care about finding the right girl. The king just wants the prince to get married. The king just wants grandkids. He just wants the prince to get married. So he doesn't care about finding the right girl. He's like, "Okay, well, the prince said he'll marry whoever fits the shoe. Okay, go find any girl who fits the shoe. I don't care. He said that he would marry whoever fits the shoe. Then just go find somebody." So, the prince is literally not in any of these scenes. The prince is only in the scene at the ball when he dances with Cinderella. And at the scene when they get married at the end. He has 2 speaking lines of like, "No, wait," and "don't go," or something along those lines, and that's it. The prince doesn't matter in this movie. Like, anyone who says, "Oh, but the prince this, but the prince that," I'm going to be like, he wasn't in the movie. So yeah, there's a lot of things that people get wrong whenever they remake Cinderella, or they do like a rendition of Cinderella, and that is that Cinderella is a noble, as are Lady Tremaine and the girls. It's like me dancing with a girl, she leaves, and I find a shoe, I say, "I'll marry whoever the shoe fits." That implies you don't know who wears this shoe. He doesn't know her name. That's the thing. He doesn't know her name, otherwise he would go after the girl whose name he knows. But he likely knows her face, but he's not the one looking for her. That's the thing. He doesn't know Cinderella's name. All the girls were introduced. Like, basically, they went to the ball, and, like, you see the scene. And there's a guy, an announcer, reading, "This is Anastasia and Drizella Tremaine, daughters of Lady Tremaine. This is so-and-so Dubois, daughter of blah, blah, blah." But Cinderella didn't walk. She got there late, and she wasn't present, you know? So she didn't get introduced. He didn't learn her name. She didn't learn his name. Like I said, she didn't even know he was the prince. So, yes, he doesn't know who wears a shoe because he doesn't know her name. Doesn't mean he doesn't know what she looks like, but he's not the one going looking for her. You have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. Like, yes, why didn't he just go searching for her himself? Well, for one thing, he's the fucking prince. And everyone's gonna look different than they did on the night of the ball, for starters. So, what you're saying is, what you're wanting is, like, you're wanting the prince to go to every house in the kingdom and talk to every girl in the kingdom to see if they might be the one he danced with that night. Or you could send the Duke with the shoe to go try it on people. I think he's gonna send the Duke. So, yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief at least a little bit. Which is not that bad. It's not like a major, like, oh, this is such a plot hole. Like, no, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, just don't dig in it too deep. It's a Disney movie. It's a kid's movie. It's an hour and 15-minute film. But so, people mess up that she's a noble. She is of noble blood. She is a noble. A lot of people make her poor, or, like, make it that, like, her stepsisters have money, but, like, her dad was kind of poor or whatever. Like, no, her dad was a noble. So, like, anything that has her parents as, like, kind of rich, or anything like that, or, like, noble blood, all that is good. Anything that doesn't have that is messed up. But she's a noble, which a lot of things get wrong. So she doesn't come from nothing. Like, that's why the stepmother married him. Well, I guess technically it does say he picked a woman of good blood. So, like, he picked another noble. But, like, yeah. I mean, she married him because he was a noble. So, yeah, that's one big thing that a lot of, like, adaptations get wrong. Is, like, they make her just kind of poor. I don't really like that. What else? I mean, like I said, there's literally a whole conversation where it is stated and explicitly said to the audience, they know this shoe could fit anyone, but the king doesn't care, and they've explicitly, like, explained to you, the prince is not the one going out there. It is the king making the duke go out there. So you can't be like, why didn't the prince recognize her? Like, the president just call all the people back to the castle. It's easier to send the duke out, and then you don't have to have people in the castle. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of, like, you have to have a movie, you have to have a plot. And it's also based on a story. Like, Cendrillon. Let's see. Where is it? Where's Cendrillon? I think the Mice Slayer killed the stepmom and sisters for revenge, destroying that dress. I hope. No, unfortunately. Where is the... Charles Perrault. Here we go. Yeah, so Charles Perrault is the most popular version of Cinderella. It's one of the... I won't say it's one of the original ones, but it's one of the most popular ones. Let's see. Oh, so in this one, actually the dad's not dead. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah. So that's the thing. In this one, the ball is 2 nights. And so the first night she goes and she leaves before midnight. The second one, she forgets and then she loses track of time and she loses one of her glass slippers. And yeah, in this version, it's also like the Princess Harold tries the slipper on, so it's not the prince. Yeah, and then like in this one, her stepfamily is like nice to her and she forgives them and all this stuff. The one that everyone talks about is Ashputanel, which is the Brothers Grimm version. The shoes are magical. Shouldn't they have changed back like the rest of her clothes? Again, don't think too hard about it. That's how it is in the other story. It's how it is in the Charles Perrault. So, Cinderella, the Disney Cinderella, is based on the French Charles Perrault Cendrillon. And in that story, no, the slipper doesn't change back. It stays after midnight because fairy godmother magic. The fairy godmother uses it as... I don't know. It just doesn't change back. That's just how it is. Found a shirt I never knew I needed. It's an homage to all the Warriors card villains as Megatron, Momora, Skeletor, Shredder, Cobra Commander. 2 of my favorite things combined. Cool. But the one everyone talks about, Ashputanel, which is the German Brothers Grimm version. The thing is everyone goes, why didn't the Cinderella version, why didn't the Disney version put in that they cut their feet off? Because it's for kids, haha. It's like, no, because it's based on another version, you dimwit. Ashputanel and Cendrillon are 2 different stories by 2 different writers. And it tells you, at the beginning of Cinderella, it says based on the story by Charles Perrault. Let me see if I can find the title card. Yeah. Cinderella, from the original classic by Charles Perrault. So, yeah. This is one of those things that kind of ticks me off because people don't... Like, people mess that up. They were like, Grimm Fairy Tales. The Grimm Fairy Tales came almost 200 years later. It came 150 years after the Charles Perrault version. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong date. It came 100 years after. 100, like... Yeah. Like 120 years later. But there are tons of versions of Cinderella all throughout history of, like... The oldest known oral version is a Greek story about someone, like, losing her shoe, and then the king looked at the shoe and decided he wanted to marry the person who the shoe fits. I'm just glad I found an actual plot hole in the shoe not changing. It's not a plot hole. I hate when people use that. It's not a plot hole. For one thing, suspend your disbelief a little bit. For 2, don't you think maybe Fairy Godmother Magic knew in some way that, hey, she doesn't have the slipper, maybe she'll need it? Also, the 3rd Cinderella movie is all about time travel using the Fairy Godmother's wand. I wouldn't be surprised if Fairy Godmother could, like, see into the future a little bit and been like, ooh, let me help you out, sister. But yeah, the original, the oldest known oral version of Cinderella is a Greek story about... Sorry, thirsty. About a woman who, her shoe was snatched by an eagle and it was carried to Memphis, and while the king saw the eagle dropped the shoe in the king's lap, and the king was like, I want to find the woman who fits the shoe, and then she was found and became the wife of the king. So the oldest known version of Cinderella. So, I mean, there's lots of versions of, like, a girl losing a shoe. I mean, that's European versions. I love the fucking mentality of the king at this point. There's all sorts of Asian versions and tons of versions of this story. So you also have to remember that this is, like, an oral story, and this was, like, a story that wasn't meant to necessarily have a deep plot. You know, it started orally. It started in a different way. It started, like, people love to nitpick stories, but then they don't like when their own stories get nitpicked. Like, you just have to remember that, like, all stories have an element where you have to suspend your disbelief. You have to not think about it. Every single story has that. There's not one story out there that doesn't have a moment where you have to go, okay, I just have to not think too hard about that moment, you know? Like, yes, you can go all day long and go, why didn't the shoe change back? Why didn't the prince go looking for her? Like, do you want a story? Like, that's just part of the story. Like, do you want a story or not? Because if the shoe changes back, then there's no story. He never finds her. The end. End of story. Is that the story you want me to tell? You know what I mean? Like, every single story has a moment where you have to go, let me just suspend my disbelief there. So, unsurprisingly, so I sat here, let me show this. Okay, so I sat here, and all of these were out of order before, like all the little, where's my mouse? All the discussion, so I'm going to nitpick. It's still a good story, but no one's safe for my analysis. No, like, in this kind of situation, it's fine, but, like, I just mean everyone likes to go and make their BuzzFeed articles and make their listicles and make their reviews and, like, nitpick at a story, but, like, every story has a point. Even me sitting here, I will nitpick these apart. Like, there's a point where I also go, okay, suspend your disbelief a little bit. There are just some where it's harder than others, or some where you go, this is, like, you are asking a lot out of the audience to suspend their disbelief. You know, you were asking, like, to the point where it's like, this is no longer suspending my disbelief, this is just ignoring, you know, something. Sorry. So I sat here and I organized all of these because they were out of order. Now they are in order, so I just have to drag them. So, Cinderella, A tier. No one's surprised. I love this movie. I talk about it all the time. Like Fish driving a car and Finding Dory. Yes. You know, even, like, we can talk about the toys driving a car in Toy Story, but, like, they're also shown to be doing a bad job. And for 2, the toys have thumbs. Like, I'm gonna give them that. The toys have thumbs. Fish don't have thumbs. And they're driving a car. They shouldn't even know what a car... Is a Goofy movie on your list of movies to watch? Unfortunately, it is not, Igloo. I may watch it and talk about it at another point, but I will show you what I am watching. I am watching... not what I'm trying to do. Okay. I am watching just the films made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Fortunately, a Goofy movie was made by a different studio. This is just the animated films made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. So this is all the Disney Princess films, most of the major animated films. It does not include any sequels. No, it includes like 2 sequels, I think. Just Frozen 2 and Wreck-It Ralph 2. Oh, and Rescuers Down Under. It does not include the sequels. It does not include spin-offs. It does not include live action. Right now we are just watching the Walt Disney Animation Studios films. Just rewatched Black Hawk the other day. I really like that movie. Yeah, so we're starting, it's from Snow White to the new Encanto film, which, if you haven't seen Encanto, go watch it. It's going to be a while before we get there, but go watch it. So, this is what we're working on. I do plan to go back and do sequels and live action remakes for some of these films. So, like, Cinderella has sequels and a live action, so at some point I'm going to go back and be like, hey, let's talk about all the sequels. What else? Dumbo has a live action. Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland has one. Lady and the Tramp has one. Sleeping Beauty has one. 101 Dalmatians. Some of them I may do more, like, I may not do, depends on, like, if I can find them, honestly. What else has a live action or a spin-off? A live action or a sequel. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. What else? Mulan. I think that's it. So yeah, Frozen 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet are like the only ones included on this list that are sequels. Are all 3 Aladdin movies and series on Disney Plus yet? Let's see. So we have Aladdin, the live action, original Aladdin, Return of Jafar, King of Thieves. It does not look like we have the others. The series. The toys are alive and sentient, so it's believable they can attempt to drive a car. More so than a fish that don't even have hands and can't breathe out of water. Exactly. This is what's on Disney Plus for Aladdin. So the way I got to what I was doing is you go to search, and you go here, and this is the Walt Disney Animation Studios collection. I think the series isn't bad though. I can hope someday I get the series so I can rewatch it. Yeah, there's some stuff they just don't have on Disney Plus. Let's actually see if this is on Disney Plus yet. Doesn't look like it. No, House of Mouse is not on here, guys. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is, but House of Mouse is not. So yes, this is what if you want to keep up with all the stuff we're watching, it's right here, Walt Disney Animation Studios collection. Live action Aladdin sucked, and no, Will Smith did not save it. I feel like he made it worse. Not him, but like, here's the problem with what they did with Will Smith in that movie. I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, and from what I'm to understand, from like the clips I've seen, is had they let Will Smith be Will Smith Genie, it would have been fine. But what they had was Will Smith trying to pretend to be Robin Williams Genie. Had they just been like, Will Smith, just do your thing and just be goofy and all that, I think it would have been a lot better. But from what I understand is like, and from the clips I've seen, he's just kind of like trying to be Robin Williams and it doesn't work. But yeah, so this is what we're going through. So we watched up to here, Cinderella. The next 3 we're doing is Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, and Lady and the Tramp. And get ready for my opinions on these. I have some unpopular opinions about Alice in Wonderland. It may be our next lowest film. Oh, hold on, I gotta update this. Oops. It gets an 8 out of 10. Oops. 8 out of 10. A tier. I don't really care for Alice in Wonderland either. I just don't really like it. I find it boring. I find it uncomfortable to watch. I don't find it fun. I feel like I'm on drugs, and not in the good way. Like, I feel like I'm having a bad trip. Like, really bad trip. I don't feel like it makes me uncomfortable. It just doesn't feel fun. But yeah, so here's our current standings. So Cinderella, Fun and Fancy Free, Three Caballeros, Fantasia, Saludos Amigos, Melody Time, Dumbo, Snow White, Ichabod and Mr. Toad, Pinocchio, Make Mine Music, and Bambi. So yeah, I mean, Just LSD and PCP spit out a shit movie. Yeah, it's just kind of like not fun. And it feels like multiple different stories, and then they pull the "it was all a dream" at the end, and you're just like, what? The only thing at Alice in Wonderland, I sung "The White Rabbit" from Jefferson Airplane. I don't even remember the songs, to be honest. The only thing I like from Alice in Wonderland, and I don't really like it, the only thing I like is the Kingdom Hearts worlds. The Kingdom Hearts Alice in Wonderland world. It's alright. It's kind of fun. Let's see, what's after that? I'm excited to get to Rescuers, because I've never seen Rescuers. Hate that it was all a dream. It's the biggest thing I don't like about Wizard of Oz. That wasn't a bad world, and the boss was kind of trippy in a good way. Yeah, we're gonna play Kingdom Hearts on stream, by the way. We're just getting there. I just need some time to get some... So you can see, I'm moving my entire life right now. I'm just in the middle of doing a whole bunch of stuff, so I can't... I'm not really in the place to start a new game. I'm trying to finish Phoenix Wright, and then we're gonna reset the stream schedule. But, yeah, I'm excited to get to Rescuers, because I've never seen Rescuers. Never seen Black Cauldron, never seen Great Mouse Detective. A lot of stuff I'm excited to see. So, I know I said something about Cinderella. Oh. It was this one. It was showing that... So this is what I was talking about, where... When do we tear apart Little Mermaid? That's in a little bit. So this is the way the Blu-ray... the Blu-ray, like... remaster version of Cinderella ruined the movie. So here's an example. So here's also an example of where you can see her dress is white. And then they did this, and you can see it loses, like, the line work. Like, there are lines here on her dress that just don't show up on this side. Like, there are lines going down her dress that are not here. So here's a comparison. So, like, here's her dress. You can see the lines, you can see her arms, her gloves. Everything just kind of blends in here. All the line work is gone. All the fairy dust, like, some of it's missing here, like, it's just, like, some of the details are gone. That shadow, this is the Duke. This is the Duke running after her. So you see there's, like, line work here. You can see her arms, you can see her stuff. Here's the remastered, like, it all blends together, like, a bunch of the lines are gone. His shoulder pads. Like, the coloring is messed up. Wait, where is it? The line on the shoulder parts is blue instead of the brownish color it should be. Yeah, like, the lines are a weird color. Like, the coloring is just off, and, like, the line work is gone. So, yeah, the creases in the fabric are gone here. Like, her hands, you can't, like, they're all the line work is gone. Yeah, like, the line colors are just all messed up. Yeah, her blouse, like, right here, she has a different colored shirt. Like, it's gone. Yeah, all the colors are just kind of messed up. The line, again, the line art is gone between the two. This is just explaining some of the details of, like, what they do. But yeah, I mean, just some of these remastered lose a lot of their detailing, and their colors are wrong. See, like, the coloring here and the coloring here are completely, like, gone. And, like, the poster here loses, like, a lot of detail. She can run in those slippers. I can run in flip-flops because it's all I wear in the summer. Yeah. Those animals had to be freaking out when they were made horses. Yeah. This is just wrong. Like, look at how the detailing and all the line art is just, like, smudged out. In an attempt to make it smoother, they've just, like, ruined it. Ugh. The coloring is weird. This is much freakier and cooler than this. So yeah, this is something I wanted to pull up. This is part of the reason everyone thinks her dress is blue, is because, like, yeah, they, like, remastered it and just, like, ruined her. Okay. What do we have? This is Disney movie fan theories. We'll come back to this. Vintage actually adds to the effect and better sells the feeling you should be feeling, I mean. Yeah, I agree. Like, you shouldn't mess with... you shouldn't mess with these old movies, especially, like... think of how, like, yeah, you just shouldn't mess with the movies the way they do. Like, there's a point to be said of, like, restoring, like, keeping it watchable without ruining it. You know what I mean? Like, keeping it, like, making it digital or updating the media format it is one thing, but, like, completely remastering and redoing it is just, if you're gonna ruin it, don't touch it. Just don't touch it, Disney. Anyone, for that matter. Trying to find some Cinderella stuff on BuzzFeed. What is this about Camille Cabello's version of Cinderella? Oh, I want to try this one. Like one of those photos vintage mode made it look like Shadow and they redid it. The Shadow is lost and clearly should the Beast. Kind of loses the mystique of him being a dangerous monster. Exactly. I was reading earlier because Zeffy and I were talking about it. There's Keira Knightley once did an interview and she talked about how she wouldn't let her daughter watch Cinderella or Little Mermaid because, and I quote, Cinderella just waits around for a prince to rescue her. Rescue yourself. And I don't want to have, and Ariel gives her voice up for a man, like, come on, which we'll talk about that one when we get there. But the point is that, like, clearly Keira Knightley needs to rewatch the movies because, like, Cinderella doesn't wait for nobody. The only thing she waits for is the mice to get the key. But, like, again, she's not waiting for the prince. Let's see. I want to try this one, so let me, Look, I understand that Ariel with Cinderella, she works hard. She didn't even know the prince. Exactly. If you can correctly guess the time period of all 13 of these Disney princesses belong to, I'll bow down to you. Snow White. No, I got that wrong. I'm not going to get most of these right. 1700s. Aurora. 1300s? Ugh. Oh, it's mentioned in the movie? I don't remember that. I haven't watched that one in a little while. Cinderella, 1800s. Jasmine, 11th century, 300 CE. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get most of these. I hope y'all know that. Ariel, yeah, I don't know. Tiana's in the 20s, I think. Oh, the story will probably ace this one. Oh yeah, she's in the 20s. That's what I thought. Pocahontas. Late 1600s or 1700? Early 1600s, yeah. Merida. Yeah, I don't know. Rapunzel, mid-17. It does not take place in Italy, Austria, or northern Italy. Guys, do you know what language the word Rapunzel is? It's German! Time period is Moana from? I don't know. This is late. Anna and Elsa are from yeah, they're like the 1800s. They're yeah, I didn't get very many. Let's go through and look at this. Okay, Snow White is in the mid-1500s in Germany. Yeah. France in the mid-1700s. Yeah. Aurora, I guess it takes place in the 14th century, which is mentioned in the movie. I don't remember that. 1800s, Germany in the 1880s. That sounds about right. The 300s in the Arabian Peninsula. Takes place in China around 386 through 584. Obviously, that's because that's whenever that war takes place in real life. I don't know that. Ariel is the mid to late 1800s. Tiana, she's in the 20s. Pocahontas, 1600s, around 1607. Yeah. She's in the 10th century. Okay. This one just bothers me. She shouldn't be in Austria. Maybe Austria, but definitely not northern Italy. Rapunzel is a German word, if I'm correct. As far as I know, it's a German word. Yeah, Rapunzel is a type of lettuce. Disney doesn't do many 21st century movies, so other than maybe Pixar. Yeah. Yeah, Rapunzel is a type of lettuce. Moana, the thousands, yeah. I didn't know this had an actual date. July 1843, okay. I guess we're accurately... She's named lettuce. Yeah, she's named after... So... Okay. It's based on the story. So in the story, depending on which story, but in one of the stories, the witch, there's a witch, and she has a garden, and the person next door to the witch, the guy who owns that house, sneaks over and steals lettuce from her garden. And the witch curses him, and she's like, "I will have your firstborn child," and she names the child after the thing that was stolen from her garden. That's at least in one of the versions. Are your Disney preferences the same as everyone else's? Which is the best Disney princess movie? We all know what I'm picking. Okay, okay. No one picked Snow White? I'm sorry, Snow White. Tangled's winning. Okay. Oh, has this been unplugged? Oops. I was gonna turn my heater on, but it's been unplugged. Slow down. I want to play? Okay. Who is the best prince? So Adam, which is the beast. Florian, which is Snow White's prince. Eric, Charming. Philip, which is Aurora's prince, or Naveen. Best prince. We don't really get to see Florian. Don't really get to see a whole lot of Philip. Really don't get to see a whole lot of Charming. Mostly we get to hang out with these three. Adam, Eric, and Naveen. Eric's kind of whatever. So it's between Adam and Naveen. I'd have to go Beast. Eric is winning. Surprising. No, Naveen is winning. Not surprising. Eric is second place, which is funny. Philip's doing better than I thought. Charming's doing better than I thought. Florian's doing about what I thought. Who's the best sidekick? So we have Lumiere, Flounder, Mushu, Ray, Pascal, or none. I mean, it's between Mushu and Pascal. Mushu or Pascal? I mean, we all know who I'm gonna pick. Mushu is winning, unsurprisingly. Pascal has second place. Lumiere's got more votes than I thought. Ray is doing about as well as I thought. Sorry. Which is the best Disney movie? Hercules, any princess movie, Pixar movies, Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, 101 Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp, or other. Say Mushu only because he's funny. Fair enough. Which is the best Disney movie? Hercules, any princess movie, Pixar movies, Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, 101 Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp, or other. I mean, I wouldn't say any princess movie, but I think one of the princess movies is the best Disney movie. Of these choices, I'm probably going to pick Hercules. Okay, Hercules is tied. So it's Hercules, Pixar movies, any princess movie. Others, 23%. Ella, Lion King, and Tarzan, yeah. Wow, that was very short. Okay. Let's decide if these princesses are overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated. Elsa. Overrated. Overrated. Merida. Underrated. Tarzan has a killer soundtrack. Yeah. Mulan. Underrated. No one talks about my girl Mulan. Moana. Overrated. Appropriately rated. Interesting. Belle. I feel like Belle gets the appropriate love. I feel like Belle gets appropriate love. Yeah. Cinderella. My girl Cinderella is not loved enough. Underrated. Overrated? Come on, y'all. Shut up. Y'all just don't know anything about Cinderella. Snow White? Snow White, I mean, appropriately rated. I'm gonna be honest. She's not overrated. No one talks about Snow White. Tiana. I feel like probably appropriately rated. I feel like everyone gives her the love she deserves. Underrated? I wouldn't have said that. I feel she gets the love she deserves. Finally, Rapunzel. I mean, my girl, no, she's appropriately rated. Everyone loves her about as much as I feel she deserves. Who? Fuck you. Here are 17 Disney princess movies on Disney Plus ranked from meh to oh yeah. I don't know if we should do this now or wait. Wait till we've watched them all. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with that. Snow White's at the bottom because she doesn't do anything. Her prince has zero personality, and her stepmom wants her heart in a box so she's prettier. I wouldn't watch it again. Fair enough. Oh, this is also rating the live action ones. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get back to this later. We're gonna come back to this one. And bookmark. Let's see. Oh, another overrated, underrated with the Disney princess. Pocahontas. Accurately rated. I feel like no one really cares for her. Oh, underrated. Okay. Merida, like we said, accurately rated. I feel. Or I might have picked underrated, but she's pretty good. Belle, accurately rated. Cinderella, she's underrated. She's not loved enough. Mulan, she's best. Best girl. Ariel, overrated. Overrated. I feel she gets the love she deserves. Moana, overrated. Some of these are the same. Aurora, I guess she's kind of underrated. Rapunzel, accurate. Jasmine, underrated. I don't feel like she gets as much love as some of the other princesses. Overrated. Anna, overrated. I ranked all of the official Disney princesses from meh to absolutely iconic. Hold on, let me save some of these. Okay. Snow White at the bottom. Fair enough. Oh no, this is the one I just looked at. This one. Snow White at the bottom. Fair enough. She's the reason Disney movies exist, but she doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Okay, I hate when people say this. A total stranger comes and kisses her. No, he wasn't a stranger. Did you watch the movie? Okay. Aurora, fair enough. She's pretty bland. She doesn't do a lot. Cinderella, I feel she should be higher. I just thought she was a boring character. Entire arc is woman with terrible stepmother meets a handsome guy and lives happily ever after. I'm not buying it. Why didn't she just ask fairy godmother for money in her own place? Y'all are missing the plot of the movie, but whatever. I like that she goes at the end of China Undersea World for a random guy. Why couldn't Erica become a merman? I wouldn't care how handsome and perfect guy I was. I would not give up being a mermaid. Jasmine. Loved Jasmine when I was little. The more I realized this girl had pretty bad judgment. Story of a princess, yet again trusting a total stranger. Do you have to give her extra points for I'm not a prize to be one line? I feel like Pocahontas should be lower than like Jasmine and Cinderella and Aurora. Pocahontas should not even be a Disney princess. She's still a great princess. I love she doesn't let her romantic interests completely control her and change her life. Who hasn't tried to hit every note in Colors of the Wind? Okay. Bella's always been one of the best. She just wants to read and live in a castle. We share the same goals. Fair. She's still a great role model because of her independence, kindness, intelligence. Yeah. I have fond memories of watching Tangled over and over again when I was little. How old are you? What do you mean when you were little? How old are you? Cinderella, Tangled came out like 10 years ago, didn't it? 12 years ago. Fuck. This movie came out a long time ago. Shit. Shut up. Stop reminding me. Stop reminding me I'm old. It's 2022. This movie came out in 2010. Shit. She wants to discover who she was. Her story did not center around finding a soulmate. Yeah. Tiana, I mean, we don't even need to talk about Tiana. We know. Mulan, yes. She's the best. Merida. Moana. She's the boldest, most confident of all. She trusts herself but isn't arrogant. She also has the most amazing songs. She invented her own happily ever after. I'm older than you. How do you think I feel? Sorry, Igloo. I want to die. But, she's not. Whatever. Okay. How old is Snow White? We're doing this quiz. How old is Snow White? She's 14. Is Merida the only Disney princess to have brothers? Let me double check in my head. Yes. Do you know who else has siblings, though? Do you know who else has siblings? Cinderella has step-siblings, but also Ariel has sisters. I don't think Moana's number one. She's a good princess in her own rights. Yeah. I mean, she's good in her own rights, but I just don't feel like she's number one. Who is the only princess with dimples? Belle? Oh, Tiana. Oh, yeah. Forgot Ariel had sisters, honestly. Who is the second youngest princess? Jasmine. Jasmine's 15, that's what I thought. Was the only princess to have a tattoo? Pocahontas. She has her little tattoo on her arm. Which two Disney princesses are left-handed? I know it's not Rapunzel. I don't think it's Mulan. It might be Mulan. I don't remember. No, because she holds the sword like this, if I remember correctly. I'm not as good at Disney trivia as I thought I was. I'm torn between these two. It is Mulan and Tiana. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I messed it up. I thought I could have sworn Mulan, like, wielded the sword in her right hand. But who is the first princess to not be of royal descent? I mean, Cinderella. She was the first ever Disney princess to not be of royal descent. She was the second Disney princess. This question is so weird. Like, she was only the second princess, so, like... Okay, whatever. Which princess can be seen in Peter Pan's flight in Disneyland? Y'all can't ask me Disneyland questions. Ariel? Okay, yeah, she's seen swimming with the mermaids, I guess. Is Merida the only princess without an American accent? Oh, now you're making me question everything. Let me double check in my head, because now I'm questioning everything. Well, that's right. Oh, that's what I meant to do, definitely. I hit the wrong one. Whatever. I was wrong on so much of this. I'm just really bad. I don't know as much of, about Disney princesses as I thought. Okay, well, we're taking a break from weird BuzzFeed quizzes, because I'm not good at this. These are like small detail, don't worry. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. You asked me some hard questions. Well, ultimately, let's go over our tier list again. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Would I give Cinderella an 8 or a 9? Who the fuck knows who has a dimple? I don't know. I don't even know if people I know in real life have dimples. I don't pay attention. I have dimples if I smile real hard. But when I smile normally, I don't really have them. Who the fuck has dimples? God. Whatever, man. Cute either way. Shut up. Anyway, let me see something. I need to rearrange this. I don't know how to fix this. I have to fix this later. There we go. Okay, sorry. I was just fixing something. I was just double checking that all my links are up. Okay, you take the compliment. I'll say it again. I'm not listening to you. So we are probably gonna be done for the day. I just don't know what else to talk about. Also, remember, guys, always, if I say something funny, like, clip my channel, make clips. I post those on TikTok when I have them. I just don't have a lot of clips, so I haven't been posting on TikTok. You guys have all my links, you know where to find the links. You just scroll down, and there's all my fun stuff. Of course, you're never obligated to sub, donate, or buy anything off my wish list, but I would highly appreciate it, and I will always give you a shout out for those things. The nice little hour and a half streams. It's nice, easier on you. Yeah, I would like to do more, but, like, these movies are fairly short right now, and there's not as much to talk about with them, because they're just, the movies are an hour long, you know? Let's see. When is our next movie that's, like, more than, like, an hour and 20 minutes? Besides fucking Fantasia, that was 2 hours of nothing. Let's see. Alice in Wonderland is an hour and 20 minutes. Peter Pan, an hour and 20 minutes. Seriously, these movies are not long. Lady and the Tramp, an hour and 20 minutes. And you have to remember, that's including credits. Sleeping Beauty, an hour and 18 minutes. 101 Dalmatians, an hour and 21 minutes. Like, we still have yet to hit an hour and a half. Sword in the Stone, an hour and 20 minutes. Jungle Book, an hour and 20 minutes. Are you kidding me? Aristocats, an hour and 22 minutes. Winnie the Pooh, an hour and 15 minutes. The Rescuers, an hour and 18 minutes. Like, these movies are so short. They're short unless we nitpick and analyze every scene, did a full college project on it. We're not doing that. What's the first film to be over an hour and a half? Let's see. I mean, they're perfect length. Okay, Beauty and the Beast is the first film to be over an hour and a half. And it is an hour and 31 minutes. Everything else is like an hour and 26 or lower. Beauty and the Beast. Okay. God. And then Aladdin's an hour 34. Lion King an hour 32. Okay, so that's when we start getting to like an hour and a half. This is so fucking funny. The thing is, we get more recent Disney films, the discussion might be longer. Plus, it's just Disney, not Pixar. Yeah, we're gonna do Pixar after this. We're gonna do all the Disney, and we're gonna do Pixar, and we'll get to live actions and sequels after that. And then I want to also do here and there. I might do like, if I did other movies, I would do, like, Marvel and Star Wars, but I would only do one stream for those, rather than do a stream per, like, movie or per a couple movies. I would just go, like, we're going to talk about Marvel, and I'm just going to talk about, like, my rankings for Marvel and what I think of each movie real quick, and then just kind of do a quick ranking. Same with Star Wars. I wouldn't do, like, well, Marvel I might do one for each phase, do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like a stream for each phase. But Star Wars, I would just be like, let's talk about all 6 movies. But that wouldn't be for a while because we have to get through all the Disney animated films first. And then we have to get through Pixar. And if you guys are interested in me doing, like, those sequels and live actions, I'll talk about them. But if no one's really, like, cares about the sequels and live actions of these movies, then I won't do them. Let me see something. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Is I'm definitely gonna do more of these after I finish all the Disney movies. We're gonna do Disney and then Pixar, for sure. Only live action I care for is Beauty and the Beast, honestly. I just mean sort of like a discussion like, was it good? Did it live up? Whatever. Was the sequel good? Yes or no? You know, I wouldn't do more in depth than really that. But this, again, if everyone's interested, and it won't be until we finish the whole thing. It won't be until we finish, because that's a lot of movies to watch. And I don't want to watch these live action movies if I don't have to. Let's see, what else is there? But yeah, that's what I was going to do. I'm going to do Disney and then Pixar, and then I'll do Marvel and Star Wars. Oh yeah, let's do that when we get there. Okay. We'll see. I mean, I'll also see how I'm feeling up for it. I might do live actions or sequels. I might not do both. I don't know. There's just a lot of movies, and getting some of these sequel movies is kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I think there's one of the, like, Beauty and the Beast. Oh no, they're both on here. I was gonna say, one of the Beauty and the Beast movies is, like, hard to get your hands on, but they're actually both on Disney Plus. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I might do either or, depending on what people are more interested in. We'll see. Like I said, all of this is just kind of like playing as we go. So stream schedule should be posted soon. For next time, we will watch Alice in Wonderland, Lady and the Tramp, and Peter Pan. Sequels will be more to talk about, in my opinion, because you have a story for follow, versus live action is just seeing if it follows the original. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I feel like doing. I'm gonna kind of compare and see what there is for each of them, because I don't even remember what has a live action and what has a sequel and all that. I guess I could theoretically just, like, click the movie on Disney Plus and see what is suggested to me. I know Lady and the Tramp has, like, a live action, yeah, and a sequel. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, for next time we're doing Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, and that'll be on Saturday. And then my weekly streams I will post as soon as I get Zeffy's schedule. Kind of shows how bad live actions are if I can't remember them. Yeah. I always forget Cinderella has a live action, because I've never seen it. Is it even on Disney Plus? It is not on Disney Plus. Are you kidding me? The 2015 Cinderella isn't on Disney Plus? Where can you watch it? It's on Hulu. Okay, it's on Hulu. It's not on Disney Plus. That is so weird. Anyway, I will post my schedule when I have it. Hopefully Monday or so. It'll probably be like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday. Anyway, 2 days of the week. I just noticed the ears. You just noticed my blue sparkly ears? So that's kind of where we're at. I will post that when I get it. And no Sunday stream still. I will let you know when we're getting back to that. But we're going to be Ace Attorney, and once Ace Attorney is done, which we should be Ace Attorney in the next, like, 2 or 3 weeks. Once Ace Attorney is done, we're going to start Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And, yeah. And then Sunday streams will resume, and we will probably resume with Kingdom Hearts. How many more cases do we have? So we're on the last case of Game 3. And we're most of the way done with that case, I think. I don't know how much more we have in that case. And then we have to go... Which do you have, Diamond or Pearl? Both. We're gonna play both. That's why I said Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. We're gonna play both. We're gonna complete the Pokedex. And then we have to go back. Do you remember in Game 1, there was a case we didn't play called Rise from the Ashes? We're gonna go back and play that case. So, yeah. So Rise from the Ashes, we're gonna go back and play, but we're gonna finish case, we're on case 4, or case, God, what are we on? We're on case 5 of Game 3. We're gonna finish that, and then go back and play Rise from the Ashes, and then we'll be done with Ace Attorney. So, yeah. Rise from the Ashes is a bonus case that they added when they ported Ace Attorney 1 from the GBA to the DS. It's an extra case, and it came out after Game 3 came out, which is why Zeffy was like, play it after you play Game 3, it'll make more sense. Because it's kind of awkward to play. And so, yeah, we're gonna play it then. Like the character stuff. It's also a bitch and a half. Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, once we get to Rise from the Ashes, that'll be a thing. So, yeah, I'm estimating that we can hopefully finish the case we're on this week, and then the next 2 or 3 weeks we spend on Rise from the Ashes, and then we're done. Hopefully. We'll see. By February, we should be playing Pokemon, so. Anyway, I love you guys. Yeah, we'd be good. I'll let you guys know. I might have a work thing that might interrupt stream schedule, but we're gonna see. Way to kick off the new year. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if there's anyone we can raid. See if anyone is live. No one's live? No one at all? No one at all? Come on. That's boring. But I guess it's part of the new year hanging out here. Yeah! We're having fun. This is a great way. So, I should have streamed yesterday. No, we were busy. I didn't even watch the ball drop. I went to bed at like 10 o'clock. Not even. I was tired. So, and then Zeffy and a friend of ours stayed up all night playing fighting games. I didn't do anything. So, anyway, but I got up at like 9 o'clock this morning and I was like, I'm ready to go. I want to do stuff. Let's get up. Let's go do things. And I built 2 bookshelves today. Because I'm productive as fuck. Anyway. So, there's no one to raid, unless you guys want to suggest somebody, but, no one I follow is online right now. No one we usually raid, so. I will see you guys. I finished 6 projects, including a new Pride Flag. Hell yeah! Hell yeah. Yeah, so I will get back to you guys with the schedule as soon as I post it. But I'll probably see you guys Tuesday or Wednesday. So, anyway, I love you guys bunches, and I will see you next week. And I'll let you guys know if anything interrupts any stream schedule. Still trying to figure that out. I have some house sitting I have to do in like 2 weeks, so I don't know how that's gonna affect stream. I'll let you guys know. But I will see you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.